While putting today's script together, I noticed a bit of a running theme. Totally accidental, to be honest, but I'll make the connections like a real literary pro. A lot of SCPs are objects or animals or totally unbelievable anomalies. These are scary because we can't understand them or don't see anything that we can relate to within them. Fear of the unknown, right? However, the SCPs we'll discuss today are more human than you would like to believe. When you see a glimmer of humanity inside of a monster, it makes it more terrifying, more tragic. Think about Nina from Fullmetal Alchemist, or the episode of Doctor Who with the kid in the gas mask calling for his mummy. The uncanny valley is real, and it gets worse when we see reflections of ourselves in the monsters we're running from. Today's SCP monsters all have a human element to them, whether it's something trying to learn and grow to replace humans, or as a human tendency like a love of art, for example. They all hit a little too close to home. Hello horror heads, and welcome back to the scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. I'm your horror host, Keegan Hughes, and today we're taking on the latest in our long-running SCP series, Top 5 SCP Monsters That Can Never Escape, Part 9. Put on your helmet and take a good long look in the mirror because we're getting weird today. Before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe for more SCP action. Wicked. Let's get going. Kicking us off at number 5, we have SCP-1770. Ever tried to realign your bike chain after it came loose? It's not a lot of fun, right? And those things can cause some serious damage if you're not careful. I'm talking bloody, greasy fingers. Well, this SCP is an entire animate mass of steel chains. Usually it takes the form of a human, and in fact it has human-level intelligence with speech and movement capabilities. If left on its own though, it will not move, nor will it initiate conversation. It is capable of attacking people and turning them into sculptures similar to itself. At one point in the past, it would establish hideouts in major population zones and covertly pull folks into its grasp. Nowadays, it just hangs out. If it were to attack someone, the process would involve 4 steps. 1. It would choke the victim to death using chains removed from its body. 2. It inserts chains into the victim via the skin, eyes, nose, and mouth. 3. It begins to replace the victim's flesh with new chains and shape them into a new form. Usually the form is humanoid, but on rare occasions they will form complex series of knots instead. And 4. All the victim's flesh is now chains. Yikes. Just imagine that, a bunch of chains sliding into your nostrils through your sinuses. Actually no, don't imagine that. I'm sorry for putting that image out there. Don't worry too much though. Like I said before, this thing doesn't seem to want to pervert the human form anymore. Apparently it used to see the transformations as an artistic outlet, but no longer has the drive to do it. If you show 1770 a piece of art that doesn't showcase humans, it will interact with you. If you show it one with humans, it will enter a depressive, apathetic state and lie down in the corner for a few days. A tortured artist who creates tortuous art. Number 4. SCP-983. This one touches on 2 common fears, growing old and singing along to your own birthday song. Yes, we've all been there. What the hell do you do when everyone's singing happy birthday to you? Smile and nod? Lock eyes with someone? Moving on, 983 is a vintage mechanical monkey that looks like it's from sometime around the 1940s. It's dressed in a ringmaster's vest and holds a brass bell and a striking rod. Under most circumstances, this little primate is harmless, but if someone touches it during the 24-hour period coinciding with the day of their birth, the anomalous effects manifest. Once the birthday celebrator touches the monkey, it will do a backflip and sing a simple song. Ring-a-ding-ding-ding, it's your birthday. Hopefully I got the tune right. It will sing this little ditty every 3 or 4 seconds, pausing to ring the bell. Every time it sings the song, the newly matured individual will appear to age by 1 year. This will continue until the person sings along or dies. Yep, this little monkey will sing you to death. Good luck. It's not fully understand how the sing-along works or how to guarantee the desired result, but if you do manage to fulfill the requirements, the monkey will triumphantly declare birthday and stop ringing and singing. Then a single gumdrop style candy will be produced from the bell. Depending on how you sang, the candy will be a different color. A perfect sing-along will produce a crystal clear candy with luminescent properties. A near perfect one will produce a clear one without the sheen. If you eat this candy, it will restore the years you had lost during the process, and if the shinier one is consumed, it may even restore some extra life. Forget fountains, we found the mechanical monkey of youth. If the person is unable to sing their part correctly, they will eventually die from age, and the monkey will produce a black candy. Do not eat the black candy. No, not even if you like licorice. Coming in at number 3, we have SCP-2690. I'm gonna do my best to explain this one, but it is quite odd. This is an unidentified object that initiates an LK class species transmutation event classified Seraphim 1390. Anyone who undergoes this event is to be classified as 2690-A. What exactly happens is up for debate, but it seems that folks who come in contact with it are transformed into something awful. Terrible beings that think that they're angels and that other people need to undergo that process as well. It's so beautiful, they say. We need more people to understand. 2690-A specimens have been left to their own devices to study 2690 itself. They've come up with their own containment procedures and description. It reads, "Touch it, read it, please adore it. We need so many more. We stay here where it was interned until it takes flight." Somehow that seems a little different than standard containment. Please come touch this thing, it's beautiful. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my distance. The report also describes the SCP. It could speak once, it needs us, or sorrow consumes it, but oh, how bright. Oh, wings unfurl over your face and your feet and your chest in light of it. Oh, such glorious luster. It illuminates flesh until it has had enough. But worry not. Love is inside of you. That is how we were meant to be. To learn that it was always in us is our greatest gift. To keep it to ourselves is sin. We can all fly if we try hard enough. Getting major cult vibes for sure, but hey, they think it's so great, why not give it a try? Filling out our number 2 slot, SCP-3994. Normal human people like Mark Zuckerberg or Alex Jones. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if they turned out to be alien shell covered goo. 3994 is a collective designation for a cluster of extraterrestrial entities. They develop and inhabit outer shells that look like humans and will mimic the appearance of a pre-existing individual if there's one nearby. If there isn't a human nearby, it will still form a shell based on approximate knowledge, which again could be the inception of Zuckerberg. Don't kill me. The shells are meant to act as disguises to hide the inner gooey form of 3994, but often fail to perform as intended. Plenty of these weirdos have deformities like twisted appendages and disproportionate skeletal structure. If a goop ever exists outside a shell, it lacks any form or structure and can sometimes be as tall as 560 centimeters. Over time, these normal human people have learned to copy speech patterns, dialects, and languages of those they were exposed to. At first, they weren't able to string together proper sentences, but now they are matching the language proficiency of Foundation personnel. It appears that they're able to communicate via telepathy with other instances, creating a sort of hive mind complex. This means that they can learn without being directly exposed to humans. For this reason, the Foundation has deemed it necessary to teach the things false information about humanity to make uncovering instances easier. This doesn't seem to be working so well though, as a recent containment breach has made it very clear that they are already seeing through the ruse. They aren't damageable by conventional means, often requiring the use of flames or acid to destroy them. And very soon, they could probably take over the top of the food chain. And finally at number 1, SCP-3456. Basically the 4 centaurs of the apocalypse, except there's more than 4 of them and the world hasn't ended yet. These SCPs resemble horses, sort of. Their size and form say horse, but the lack of hair, translucent skin, and human torsos fused to their backs say otherwise. Oh, and the human torsos have huge arm spans, sharpened digits instead of fingers, and a nose hole that emits screams at over 110 decibels. So we've got a decidedly weird creature on our hands. They materialize near war zones, terror attacks, and natural disasters, as if they are drawn to human suffering. Anyone who lays eyes on an instance of 3456 can expect to be stalked for the rest of their days, which is nice. The horrible horses will capture a great number of subjects before disappearing entirely. It's unknown what happens after. In addition to all these terrifying details, it should also be noted that some instances have been reported to be over 30 meters tall, and that they are impervious to conventional weapons. Ah, good. Well, no sense worrying over something we can't stop then. One little saving grace does exist though. They are unable to cross bodies of fresh water. Why this is the case, nobody really knows, but we can all be glad that there's one way to avoid them. Although, there's less fresh water than ever, so we'll see how long we can make that work. Goodness gracious, those are some wicked creatures. Did you see anything you recognized? What human traits would you never want to see in a monster? Make sure you let me know down in the comments. Speaking of comments, let's have a look at some of your more visceral ones from top 5 scariest redacted SCP monsters. Robert the Dude says the scariest redacted SCP has to be redacted. This thing gives me nightmares for data expunged. I also think redacted Data expunged. Pit Symbiotic says, top secret he says, and now we all know. What have you done? I've informed the public. Use this info while you still can. Gianna Beckman says, whenever you guys talk about SCPs, I think of Jumba's experiments from Lilo and Stitch. That's a great comparison. Jumba's like a Foundation researcher giving each entity numeric titles, and everyone else just decides to give them pet names and run around having fun. Bendy20 says, why isn't Lucy on this list? She's too well known to be redacted. Her cognito-hazardous qualities are just too powerful. And Flamingo Fan says hi. Hey, that's all the time we have for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.